And on top of that, I was screening the film in California, and a lady walked up to me and she handed me her card. She said, "Mr. Hunter, we'd like to see you." And the card said, "Defense Department, Pentagon." "Yes, ma'am, I'll make room in my schedule for that. I'll be sure to be there." Well, it turns out Beth Flores, a policy specialist at the Pentagon, the film had been screened at the Pentagon, we found out later, a number of times. You know, we use Sun Tzu's The Art of War. The fourth graders read it, the 9-year-olds do. They use it as a guide to helping them understand how to get out of problems before they become larger or to avoid them altogether. And so we were invited to the Pentagon. Chris and I went. We had an amazingly deep discussion with generals and policy experts, and they were essentially saying, we'd like to avoid doing warfare so much. Can you help us think about it? Just imagine, I'm an elementary school teacher. They're asking an elementary school teacher to help think about this? I said, well, I'm not sure I have the wisdom to do this. I mean, you've got all these wonderful, smart people here. We went back home, got a phone call about a week later. Said, "Mr. Hunter, we'd like for you to bring your students to the Pentagon. We'd like to talk to them about how they achieve peace in the face of all these complex problems." And sure enough, on March 20th, 23 of my students boarded a bus. We went to Northern Virginia. We got out and went through multiple layers of security in our suits, and we were dressed like policy experts with our lanyards on. We looked really good. And we indeed met and discussed policy with generals, policy experts, and the Defense Secretary, Mr. Leon Panetta himself, who was supposed to spend only 10 minutes with us, gave the students almost a half an hour of his time, not for a photo opportunity, but to discuss policy. He said, "How do you handle climate change? Here's what we do. How do you handle insurgencies and attacks?" And the students answered him because they had to deal with that in the world peace game. And they had such a great time. They had a thrill. The children were children. They were having a great time jumping about and answering questions, and we had trained how to answer respectfully and so forth. But who can imagine the impact that meeting had not only on the children, but upon some of the most powerful military figures in the world? This is what happened to us. And I'm a small-town school teacher. So I tell my colleagues, be ready. Anything could happen. You never know.